That's my new moniker. The point, yeah, the point and the swivel down, right? Sort of putting it right in the pocket. Yeah, funnel it like it's a laser.
Reminds me of those where you put the coin in and it goes down and does a little swivel thing.
Right?
Little
Yeah.
animations.
And you can see, yeah. I think those are big in China. Maybe is that the
Maybe.
gambling game where the things go over the top? It's Keelan Wendorf here to make my day. Am I too hot? I might be. See, I like my ears really loud in my head. Is that me? I think this is me. Is this you?
Is this me? Is this
We've
me?
done some production work since our last
Am I good?
show. I think that's you
I'm good. I'm good.
right here. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
and
Yep.
we've got fans here and everything. This is great.
Yes.
Thanks for coming. Player to be named later because this is your business,
Yep.
whether that she's here or not. I don't know. Is this your management?
No, this is my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. My wife is my management,
All right.
but you guys haven't worked that far along in the relationship.
We're getting
so
there. We're getting there.
you can. That's great. Let's see if we're sounding good. Sounds good. That's my producer, literally from work, telling us.
All right.
The wife said that we sound good. Thank you, Temple. Right on cue, folks. This is Keelan Wendorf. I'm not even really sure how we met, honestly. But I've known of you and your magic for all that time because, like our initial meet, I think I described having you come on.
Yes.
Like how many years ago? You haven't aged, by the way.
I never age.
That's amazing.
I feel
3
like
years ago.
I feel like
Was
I'm
it
the same age, but like facial hair just grows. But I'm
It
still
looks
in the same
good,
age.
man. I mean, just it looks good. The thing I couldn't. I just big patches,
connection, right?
big patches of. Yeah, it doesn't work on me. It looks good on you. Then look at. I mean,
I know.
look at you. I mean,
That was
Brittany,
a little-
right?
that was
This
a
is
little more
literally what I'm
squirrely.
looking. And I go, oh, that's what I type. Like, I saw this and typed this. It's like an insider kind of group there. But you're up in Chicago today, huh?
Not today. We were
Oh,
just,
okay,
that
I'm
was-
sorry. Oh,
that
you
was obviously
posted it.
older photo.
Oh, see again, older, see, as it looks like yesterday, right? As far as
Yeah.
the facial, everything goes. But when we met, I knew you were a budding or a superstar already, magician. I don't know how fast you can learn all the great things that you've done. But it's been a few years now, and like, man, you just keep climbing the ladder and meeting people, and we know your affection for wrestling, which I am too, or at least I was, especially with the guy you'll be working with back in
Yeah.
the day. But gosh, you've been doing magic now on stage for
I've done it since, I would say, since middle school. I learned magic in the first grade.
first grade.
So I thought it was the coolest thing. A magician came in. I went to Whiting High School.
Right on. Go
Went to-
Oilers.
Elementary school there as well.
Okay.
And they had a magician come in. He invited me on stage, and I was so shy that I was just on stage, just like
Oh my
profusely
gosh, I've been
shaking.
there.
But yeah, he invited me on, did a trick, and gave me a $50 and said, "You know what? You can keep that." And it just
Wow.
started from that little $50.
Right? And you bought your first deck of cards.
Right?
That sounds like a book. It's a good start of a book. So I own a business in Whiting. So I love Whiting, by the way. It's a lot of fun, a lot of tight knit unit of people. You got
Very
a pretty big
local.
support. So I mean, is Whiting a big support center for you? A lot.
I would say all of Northwest
Yeah,
Indiana is.
it's
I mean,
getting there.
Between like Whiting, Hobart's been. I just won
All
Entertainer
right.
of the Year.
Entertainer of the year in this town of Hobart.
Yes.
That's amazing. Because I've performed there many times and I've never been nominated.
I didn't even know. See, the funniest part is I didn't know I was even nominated. I
See,
was,
that's how you win awards.
I was at Deep River Water Park, and I get
That place is fun.
I get an email, and it says, it said you're nominated, and I was like, all right, cool, no problem. And then like lower, like right below it says, no, you actually won.
Wow.
And there was like a little glass plaque. that said,
Sweet.
Entertainer of the Year for City of Hobart.
That's how you do plaques, by the way. I'm just talking about a political thing. I'll save that for when you're off.
All right.
People buy the plaques for you. That's the process. You don't buy them for yourself. That's how they do it in that level. But you are a great entertainer. I
Thank you
think
so much.
again, even just hanging out with you and even watching you a lot of stuff. Some of this stuff, I think, if I had more time, I'd really press you on how possibly it was to spin a bottle cap off of a pop bottle and with your foot in that, and if it's real or if it's, I don't know, because that's your thing. I don't really can't really cross that sphere. But you got some great stuff going. Again, check out the magic of Keelan Wendorf. That's your page.
Yep. So I have it on Facebook and YouTube. I'm all across the board on social media, but the Magic
Damn.
of Keelan Wendorf is for YouTube and Facebook, and then at Magic of Keelan is for the other social media.
Okay, sweet. And you're putting up videos there all the time, and it's super fun and young stuff.
Yeah,
We
I try to integrate a lot with what's going on. Like, we got Christmas going on right now, so it's like, hey, okay, what can we do that isn't just like, hey, you want to see a card trick? It's like, hey, let's try and do something with,
The Three Wise Men or something.
yeah.
Yeah?
If you can find them.
Oh my God! Well, you'll find them, probably. God, that's amazing. And so it's something that and I know some of this stuff you like develop on your own, or at least new takes on
I try to do a
the
little
way.
spin on it.
And
To me,
your delivery beats David Blaine, right? He's just sort of. I'm not saying he's not great, but his affect, he doesn't. The entertainment. That's why I put this. By the way, I hope you don't. I'm not offended. He's more than just magician. I don't know if you can sing too, but you're funny. That your stage presence is good.
did the
You know what I mean?
wrestling for a bit.
Right, wrestling. We'll get into that too. But you see what I mean? You're more than just that. So I mean, you bring a lot to the show. So I don't know how long. What does it take to really take one piece and say, like playing the guitar? Is it similar to that? You got to keep your chops up, kind of.
You gotta keep your chops up. I mean, it's one of those things where you gotta go into it every day and just reassess yourself a bit. You have to sit there and look at, for instance, guitar.
Yes, I have one.
Just play it and say something doesn't sound right. There's always
Most
multiple
of the
ways
time.
to play it, though. You could sit there and play a chord, and I don't. That stretch, like my fingers don't work that way. And then
Yeah.
you can play a different chord, but it sounds the same, and go, that's a little bit easier. So it's kind of just like what's easier for you and how you can approach it to make it yours.
But you got to have this. You got to have dexterity, right?
Dexterity.
I mean, for this business, and I play the guitar. I have a much nicer guitar than I deserve, but I don't assess enough. So do you watch yourself, or do you take notes from friends and things to sort of? I do all the time, by the way, because mine are brutal, especially about my improv. Like that, I know when they didn't laugh, by the way, that it was terrible. But it doesn't happen that often.
So
these days.
there's different things I do. So for like close-up magic, where I do the stuff on the street, a lot of the times it's just me staring in the mirror, just getting ready, used to the movements.
Right.
A lot of times, some of the smaller videos I post on like Facebook and such are actually tests to see how well people like these things.
Well,
so it's kind of like
I'm a liker usually,
so it's usually
or
okay.
a
This
wower.
didn't,
I don't
get,
use
this
wow
didn't
a
get
lot.
that many views. Why didn't this get this many views?
All
And
right.
kind of tweak it a little bit.
Well,
And
this
then-
is going to get a lot of views because you're here, because you're tweaking things. I'm tweaking things. We're doing all right. Again, thanks for coming in.
No problem.
Your friends, my friends over at Tomfoolery helped us get some of the media stuff going too. Maybe helped you out because I don't know that sort of side of the game. We got a big show coming up for the man, February 23rd. Does that
February
sound right?
23rd,
At the
Sunday.
Art Theater in Hobart. Yeah, football will be long past, I think, by then, or pretty
Should
darn
be.
down the road. Who cares? Again, the Art Theater is beautiful. They got food, drinks right there at your chair, which I've never done anything like that before. With the Three Monkeys or something like that. There's the bar
I
next
think
door.
it's now the Brick House.
Okay, yes, I think they did change names, but it's a great spot. You've been there, right? The murals on the wall are worth going alone.
Very spacey. It's like
yeah.
a kind of Pink Floyd feel to it.
Sure. And then you're going to be all the way up there. Now, how are you going to... I mean, obviously, you can project.
I can
but how does a good trick sort of reach the back rows?
So for me, I feel that from the get-go, you have to have everybody in the palm of your hand. So
You
gotta,
got to.
So
So hard with... It's hard.
it's hard. So the thing for me is I like to get everybody involved from the get-go. So
I
it's
love
like,
it.
instead
Engage.
of just going, hey, let me do this trick, I'm like, hey, everybody stand up, we're going to try and do something together. So everybody from the get-go is right there.
That's awesome. I would leave it right there. Don't give him any more. Little taste. I do like that because, and especially again, he just played the Metro. Geez, how many months ago?
That was...
Not that long. But you sold it out. I loved the only picture I saw was like you turning around with the back. That was really cool. I mean, like it was half of Chicago was there, or a third,
Pretty much.
something like that.
Most of Wrigleyville.
Yeah, and my heart's there. My theater was there when I started at. And
All right.
I mean, played at all the time. The I.O. Theater, which moved closer to me now. But yeah, Wrigleyville is a fun place. That was a good show,
Oh, absolutely.
right? How about it? How did you get that gig? So again, I'm thinking management's got to be on your side. Are you getting noticed? Does YouTube help? You
YouTube
getting
helps
notes?
a lot.
Noticed?
So a lot of YouTube is like one of those things where between my website and YouTube, it's like the two biggest things I never would have thought that
Yeah?
would have contributed. So
And it's doing stuff for you. And it does
Yeah.
this one. Again, the 23rd with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That is
Yes.
amazing, right?
Yes.
I don't. Is he going to be like you're going to make him disappear or something?
No,
Like-
no. We're not gonna make Hacksaw disappear.
I would think that would take a lot of wood or something,
2x4s.
or really like a lot of focus too. That's a lot of matter to
Yes.
make.
But I enjoy doing. It's like my world's colliding
I
from.
know. I see the wrestling stuff too. And I was back when I don't even. Hulk Hogan didn't even have his first freaking title yet. By the way, that's how old he wasn't even there yet, guys. He wasn't even there yet. We're talking about Vern Gagne and Dick the Bruiser, the previous generation, Bobo Brazil, right? And we're going like I mean, like the Hammer, the Claw Man. He was old by the time Hulk Man got in there. So how'd you get into wrestling too?
So when I was in college, one of my friends was like, "Hey man, uh, we watched wrestling like growing up." He's like, "It'd be cool to get you in there." He's like, "I trained with this guy in Chicago." He's like, "You come in and just try it out." I was like, "All right, cool, no problem." That first time, I I did training for the like complete first time. Came home and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like,
Yeah, it's
I was
yeah.
hurting. And then I came back the next time and I was like, you know what, this ain't that bad.
Right, you toughen up a little bit.
Toughen up a little bit.
My man
It takes
Tony
a lot out of
Panic
you.
got his butt kicked, and like he showed me his chest after he went. He went to an event, and he's promoting his Tony Panic in the Region, which is his sort of website. But he put this outfit on. He put him in, and they got him in the turnbuckle. And I mean, like I'm telling you, his whole thing was black and blue, like Thanksgiving. Sorry, Tony. So as much as you could say it's this or that, it is absolutely physical.
It is completely physical. There's days where I will sit there like the complete next day after like a match. You will never see me. I'll be at home just sleeping. Got a Gatorade next to me. I'll walk, limp to the bathroom and limp back, and that's all you see of me.
Have you gone over the top onto the cement at all? I've seen that in the ARW, by the way, and that's like, yeah, that's what you do. Okay,
There was a time I did it, and it wasn't supposed to happen.
okay.
So
Gravity gets everybody, though.
yes, it
Yeah,
does.
it does. Stupid thing. You all right though?
I'm okay.
Did you didn't leave it for him?
I mean, she might beg to differ, but
Right. Oh yeah, we all got things to complain about as we get older. What are you? 23 now?
24.
Yeah, I'm twice that. So am I? Yeah, 24. No, almost. Yeah, no, older. 54. I am. My math skills are usually better. They really are. So, how did you hook up with this? I mean, so obviously you're connected. Do you know Dave Ennis, by the way, from the ARW Pro guy, my improviser guy, who's really funny?
I've not yet worked with ARW.
Yeah.
I've worked with companies that have worked with ARW.
Okay. We got to get you guys together because he's a really fun guy. He's got a throat where he got one. He's a ref, and they got a shot where he's got a foot. I mean, he's actually about 45-degree angles from hitting the ground where gravity's going to get him too, which we got him in midair. I mean, he's getting kicked in the throat by a guy, and he's got the referee jersey on. So those guys aren't safe either,
No,
as far as being in the moment.
nobody's ever safe in that ring.
No, no doubt, no doubt. How did you hook up with the? This is I mean, he's probably a Hall of Famer, right? I imagine. Hacksaw.
Hacksaw?
Or guys like that.
Yeah, he's Hall of Fame.
That's amazing.
This was just like a friend of mine. You probably know him, Mike Straker.
Straker, is he over there? He's over at the art.
He does a bunch of shows with it.
I think we've had him on a few times.
He he was like, "Hey man, I got a show for you," and he knows I love wrestling. He's just like
He's promoting hard. That guy's working hard.
he
Man,
works hard.
I think that's why I remember
does-
him.
He does a ton of shows throughout like Chicagoland area.
Yeah,
And he does it cool because he does it like in a tour sense where he's like, we're gonna do this location, this location, this location. It's like
that's the best way. I mean, if it's for improv like me, you can see me every day. It's always
Yeah.
something different. But stand up and stuff like this, you've got to master that. Every word, right? Every movement is ready. I mean, pretty
Yeah.
much.
And the thing that's interesting too is how like you never know how the audience is gonna react to you.
All right.
It's just like one day it can be spot on, just everything clicks, and then the next show it's like that didn't go well.
I've been there. My buddy Nick Gaza does stand up, and I've seen him work. 30 years he's doing it. And I marvel on that point exactly. His ability to switch that gear to find that hot nerve button. Maybe a dulcet crowd, something that they're just not maybe tired or worn out. He'll go. I know the avenue he takes when that happens. I've seen him enough times. So that's the thing too. Experience will allow you to develop that kind of skill to make them. You want to be vulnerable too, right? I mean, your heart's out there. You were out there to make you guys happy. Part of the deal. So how did you hook up with your Striker? Got him, Striker?
Yeah, so it was with I guess they're doing a smaller tour that's going through Illinois over here.
Okay.
And he's like, I know you like the wrestling stuff, and it's cool to just have your world kind of mesh together. He's like, you got wrestling, you got magic, you got that little bit of comedy about you.
Definitely.
He's like, it's just a whirlwind. He's like, and it's something I know you're gonna be comfortable in, and just
Yeah, own it, man. I'd say you got it. I mean, at your age, you got the confidence that I wish I had at your age. I
The thing
probably would
I
have had more
really enjoy
dates.
doing too is I like being like. It sounds like the weirdest thing. Majority of people like being the end of the show. Everybody wants kind of like headline. I'm the opposite. I really like opening because for some reason you have this job of finding where the audience is at because you don't know
Right.
how they're gonna go. You're like these could like again like we were saying earlier. It can go bad and go good, but it's that finding that moment where it's like, okay, we figured this out. Let's just run with it.
Right, you've got a good, and I know friends that they're in the comedy game that they only host. They're the guys that put stuff together, but they're like you; they want to lead the way. I'm for that. Again, I've done improv where I was literally the only one. People that were watching me were the other improvisers that were going to improvise later in the show. That's how early I've gone up sometimes. But I'm with you. Obviously, I was really anxious and had a lot of anxiety being like 40 when I started. Everybody else was 25, by the way, so. There was a big get. I'd like to get it over with, sit back and enjoy the rest of the show, kind of too, a little bit.
Oh,
Once
yeah.
you're done, you can sign up. A little more time for some glad handing too, right? Yeah, it was great. Yeah, after the show, everybody leaves.
Yeah.
Now we got a time for halftime where I can get some high fives in and pass out a few cards, maybe.
Especially with how that venue is, the art theater. You
Oh,
just go to
it's
the back of the room, grab
it
a
is
beer, and just
so
hang out with people.
great. If you've not been to it, it's sort of I was there before the renovations. The Fries are good friends of mine that owned it. The Scott and Penny Fry that owned it before, that owned the Dairy Queen down the street. Saw the whole renovation take place. It's new but old. They have a bar inside the back row, which again took out some seats, so they've given up the opportunity to sell extra seats for you to make it convenient for you guys to have drinks right there. They've had a fundraiser for me with this last Halloween there, where there was improv, and they showed Mystic Indiana for me. We've done shows where an Oscar-nominated director was out there showing one of his new projects that Don Bernanke brought us. The art theater's got a lot going. From when we used to go, and it was just pretty much the only fun stuff was the midnight Rocky Horror was the only sort of one thing they were doing fun. Now, they just had Gilbert Godfrey, right? That's amazing.
They have a lot of
He's
talent.
on like New Year's Eve coming up. The New Year's Eve guy, headliner, was out in Hobart. And you're the entertainment of the year in Hobart? It's pretty good, man. Which, I don't know, though. I mean, like, at 24, where do you go from here? I mean, right? You really, I mean, you're going to have to keep it up, right? Well, geez, going to have to go population-wise. Next one up's probably Portage. Portage next. And then
Valpo.
Yeah, Valpo. Then you'll get around to Hammond.
I feel like Valpo University would be a fun show.
Oh, for sure. That's funny you should mention that. I'm hoping to do some improv where we take some of the kiddies and go out that way and do it with the high school kids. But so what should we expect on February 3rd? You're leading out. You're going to lead into the.
I'm leading the show, so it's. Again, it's just going to be one of those things where you just completely right into
Right, you got no time to waste. Every second counts.
It's going to be a lot of mixture of kind of my wrestling stories, things that happen in the business that you guys kind of don't see, and we're going to go into a lot of magic. Funny magic. It's not going to be.
I know. I can't. I'm going to go. I'm already going to go.
You've seen my show enough where you know there's different. I do different mixes where I'll get a little bit serious. This is one of those ones where you're kind of laid back. It's like we're gonna have fun.
Heck yeah! And so then what are those guys? They're going to wrestle? They're not going to wrestle.
We're not going to wrestle.
No. What's Hacksaw going to do? Is he do some?
I think he's doing a lot of more storytelling. And things
that makes
happened
sense.
within the business.
I'll bet.
I feel like those are the best stories. It's just like, hey, like, where you guys saw this. Let's say Monday night on Raw, but this is what happened backstage that you didn't get to see.
What era was your like number one guy? Like Steve Austin, maybe? Is that
Steve? I was a huge fan of Jeff Hardy, so that was kind of like more early '90s. So I'd say not early '90s, maybe like '95ish, and so on.
See, I'm not really sure who that is. Even should I?
Jeff's kind of like he's more Attitude Era still. They did the tables, ladders, chairs match. And that was like maybe WrestleMania 2000.
I've seen some of this stuff. Well, it started sort of like WrestleMania 1 was a part of my world back in the day. I probably liked Superfly, Jimmy Snuka.
My thing though when I was wrestling is I never really liked the wrestling now. So there's like everybody like when you go to a wrestling show, majority of the people want to jump off stuff, want to do some crazy stuff.
Break tables, yeah.
There was that part of me in the beginning, but now that I've learned to appreciate the art, I like watching the older stuff and going, that's kind of cool. Why don't we do that again?
It's artistic. It's a little more artistic. There's more of a story to it. Sometimes we had a lot. There was a lot more stories. With Macho Man and Elizabeth, they were always sort of in love turmoil. But
it's just the wrestling of that time and just understanding.
It's
You
a high wire act now. Would you
Yeah.
agree? I mean, it's very gymnastic driven, and you'd think you'd get more guys hurt, but I guess they really know how to do it. They really know how to do it. That's awesome, though. So he's gonna be storytelling on February 23rd. How do you get tickets? Just art
So
theater,
you can actually reach out to me and get tickets, or you can go to the art theater, and I'm sure they have it posted right now.
right?
There's a page. I'll post it right now.
Yeah, we're here at the early time, right? February 23rd. So we've got some time, and we'll keep promoting it, of course. Maybe we want to come back if somehow people don't want to come out and see the Wendorf hacksaw, challenge. I could see you starting some stuff though, right?
We can have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, like if somehow Hacksaw Junior's there,
Oh, yeah.
and he starts talking smack about my man Wendorf, I tell you, right? Exactly. We'll be the I don't know. All the good ones are.
We need like a
the
cool
four,
tag team name.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to comment like a cool tag team name.
Baldy and handsome,
Baldy and
or young and old, or
Beardy and Baldy.
All right, I'll let all the whiskers grow in as much as I can, so that maybe I could have
You just
people
need
think
the
it was
one.
me. One,
Just one.
that's funny you should say. My dad's friend, that his her daughter's guy. He has a thing here and a mohawk thing here.
Right.
Super funny guy. He decorated his beard and his mohawk so when he would shake his head, he would jingle. Yesterday on Christmas. How was your Christmas?
It was great.
Right? You didn't have to work, did you?
No.
Some people did though. I used to have to work. When I worked at the juvenile center, I used to have to work on Christmas and stuff. And you felt bad because why did I have to work? Because there's kids in there on Christmas. Family, big family.
Decent.
Yeah, food. We had Polish.
Tons of Polish.
We had Polish food.
We had Gumki, which
We had stuffed cabbage, which is glumki, but us Hungarians call it that.
All right.
Or sarma. That's another.
All
but
right.
yeah, really good. My mom's recipe calls for a little bit of cinnamon, and we bake it over sauerkraut on its own. We had potato pancakes. We had 3 kinds of pierogi. No S, by the way. Single, double. Still pierogi. What'd you have?
So we did a lot of stuff. We had the Gumki.
Yeah, buddy. With the red sauce.
We try to do pierogi every year. We do pierogi and fish usually.
Okay.
This year I did a lot with my girlfriend's family. So we had a lot of ham, roast beef.
Yeah. There you go.
A lot of
Dessert?
potatoes. Sweet potatoes, my favorite.
Yeah?
French silk pie.
Okay, we had 3 kinds of pie, but 1 Dutch apple, 1 regular apple, 1 pumpkin. Have you ever had something called icebox cake? Very simple. It's called icebox cake. Heard of it? It's graham crackers and pudding, essentially.
Okay.
Real quick, folks, graham cracker. We use butterscotch. You can use chocolate. Layer of butterscotch pudding. Let's put another layer of graham crackers, another layer of pudding, and then another graham on top. And they cut into little graham cracker squares.
Okay.
Put a little, whipped cream on top. Low cal, little milk in there. I mean, it's not tons of calories, so it's not bad. It's something I could do. You do much cooking?
Not really.
Not really, right?
I want to do more cooking.
Oh, you're gonna. That's funny. We got like middle-aged cooking items this Christmas, by the way, and I have a list of a fun thing we're going to go through when we're done with this great interview about my Christmas and how thankful I am. But we got air fryer, which we've used like 5 times in the week. So we got it last week. It's supposed to make things crispy, and it does. It really does. And
I've always wondered about those.
And we got something yesterday called an Instant Pot.
You just got one of those.
It's not what you think it is. If you're thinking that, it's an item to cook food.
That's a great magic trick, by the way.
Poof, right? Shrubbery. But yeah, you've used it yet, Brittany? No. You just got it though. All right. Well, then we need to be Facebook friends because the wife's already told me that I need to take over a bigger account of the room in there, the kitchen, considering I eat most of the food. Seriously, I should. I mean, I get this great life of doing this a couple hours a day, and she works extremely hard. But yeah, I'm ready. She said roast and things, 30 minutes, cook everything. You can get home at 5 o'clock and have an entire roast, potatoes and carrots dinner in a half an hour.
I'm used to just going to Langle's and being like, "Can I get a pizza?"
Right, yeah. So that's the last time we hung out, right? I haven't seen you.
Yeah. I think that was when Tom did the
he was
Tom, pitching the game.
That's how busy this guy is these days. No, we saw you. I saw you at work. I'm sure somewhere along the way. I'm sure we're somewhere along the way. But man, you got it going. 24 years of age and already doing shows at the Metro, at the Art Theater, Entertainer of the Year. Did you put the plaque up?
I did not put it up.
See, that's a humble guy. Now, again, these guys.
I don't know honestly where to put it because it
Right.
doesn't like go on a wall. It just sits on a table, and I don't want to
Right
like
here.
put it here.
They won't be able to read your name from there, right? Just the big to say entertainer of the year. I get it though, man. Again, you got a nice crew. I didn't know you were good friends with Big Ben. I'm a fan of Big Ben.
Oh yeah, Big Ben.
Uh,
He's on this chat somewhere.
Well, good because he's a superstar. Again, the talent. Again, he was a part of a crew that came through when we were making some big changes over at the station, and it was their young brilliance. I think, honestly, I'm not kidding you. Him and Angel, Christina, I think,
Oh yeah.
were heavily involved with the technical side of things. Again, guys, it's
We-
much easier, I think, to be here than to be Ben tomorrow. And he's very funny though. He's also
Extremely
extremely
funny.
funny, like smart funny, like a Frasier funny.
we went to we used to go to the ACC over here in Hammond together.
Sure.
For media, so that's how we met.
Oh, Area Chris, yeah, love
But,
Area Chris.
I really need to hang out with him again. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, let's all hang out.
See, Langle's Day.
Langle's Day. Tell him to show you the video of the big 3-point contest that WJOB had. Again,
All right.
without him, it's not even close to funny. It probably is with Tony running it, but Ben definitely nailed his part. I think they put Ben at the end for a reason. You know what I mean? It's like, this is our big fireworks funny part of the show because I can't shoot for either. I was actually had this, like I missed. I was getting well from my surgery, so. But what else could we share with you? I got to go off to a commercial and then send you guys on your way. But I just think it's great that we can sit and talk and have an interesting discussion. The first time he came on, which is I think it was our third altogether, he did magic with someone on the phone. So now we can be
So he did
entertaining.
magic
not
on the
just-
phone?
Yeah,
I think
on the
that's-
phone. And the guy's like, "What? Yeah,
The second time, I think we just did a magic trick in the studio.
right."
So
Now it's just the magic between our relationship,
absolutely.
the kindness in our hearts, in the holiday season. Fourth of July. New Year's plans?
New Year's play. I gotta work.
See, of course, that was. Yeah, is there a lot? Okay, that's probably a lot of places like to go gamble on that day. We're gonna go see my buddy Nick Geza, who's on. He's a comedian.
I think I followed him on Facebook.
Yeah,
not
you
so long
should.
ago.
He should. He's a real good guy. Been on many TV shows. Drew Carey, and he was on Malcolm in the Middle.
Really?
Believe it or not, yeah, he was on an episode of that. Super guy. He's headlining with Dobie Maxwell at the White Rhino. If you guys are fans of that in the air, $49 for tickets. Again, we're promoting Nick whenever we can. He was let me stay at his hotel room when he headlined at the Tropicana in Vegas. Such a nice guy. Super funny. It's adult though. I mean, don't think you're always going to hear my type of humor, which in improv it's pretty tame. But we can make up anything. Nick's very funny, but I wouldn't call him a dirty one. Light blue.
I feel like
light
everybody
blue.
has that one show that's like we can go this extreme if we wanted to.
Oh, another one. He'll feel out the audience. And with him is Dobie Maxwell, who's got a book out. He's known as Mr. Lucky. He was a part of that show that I talked about beforehand when we had TJ Jagodowski from the Sonic show there. He brought the house down as Mr. Lucky. We've interviewed him a few times. $49, and you get champagne, you get a buffet, and 2 headlining comedians. I think it all starts about 6:30. We're going for an early, because we're old these days. Yeah, honestly, if I'm not risking my entire life's fortune, I can't stay awake these days. You'll get that, Joe. Only you'll get that. Again, we're gonna go. Do you know these guys at all? Have you heard of the Great White North? Have you heard of a movie called Strange Brew? Maybe.
They've looked familiar.
This is, of course, he's a Ghostbuster. That's
All right, that's why.
the one. And then these guys were in SCT. I got this album. I was a junior in high school. That's 1983. What year was this made? 81. And I lent it to a girl. She lent me Vacation from the Go-Go's. Maybe you've heard of that band.
Okay, yeah.
Wasn't a fair trade. Let's put that way. I mean, wasn't a total loss, but it was close. Very close to a total loss. And my joke on Facebook was that technically we're still dating. Like, they thought it was my wife. My wife and I have been together a long time, but we didn't date in high school. It was one of those deals where I never thought, I didn't know if we were or were not dating. You ever date someone like that? Never? You weren't?
I'm joking.
Well, I don't know. I liked her as much as you can like a girl, and she thought I was funny. That's kind of it. That happened a lot in my younger days. But you know what?
That's what counts, though. If you're
It
funny.
does, and I'll tell you, the older I get, again, if you've met Temple, I don't know you have. She's a lovely young lady, tiny and beautiful, and I think over time I see that, being funny or nice, you ladies are very willing to curb your level of attractiveness, we'll say, based on personality. Sometimes those points can you can win extra points if you're capable of laughter.
Brownie points right there.
I think so. Laughter too. If you can engage in a nice, loving way and it's still funny, right? I'm sure you guys have this banter together. It's something only you two have, right? Now I want to get all emotional on your. Have you had long relationships? I only have those, by the way. I dated two girls at the same time once, and I was always checking my watch, and it happened for like about 9 days. And I said I couldn't date two girls at the same time. What's the longest relationship you've had?
I would say 5 years.
That's pretty good for someone so young. 5 years?
No. We're on the. We've known each other for a good year.
Well, that's good. More? Okay, Brittany has a 2 year. 3?
I've known you for 3 years, but we've been like on and off.
Oh, there's a different known you, Brittany. There's a known you, and then known you. I'm learning.
Technicalities.
I'm learning. You know what? It's that TikTok. The TikTok is teaching me everything about the next generation. I heard it's getting banned, by the way. I don't know if you're a TikToker, by the way. But
I am on TikTok.
yeah, they're saying something like it's the Japanese are going to be spying on you. Again,
Really?
that's all my other work. That all the old you're my young audience guy person. All my people that are in the middle of the political world, which you don't care. I mean, we care, but if it's not your job, if it wasn't my job to talk about it, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't.
TikTok's one of those things I feel though that like you need to get on it for now, and then take those people that are on TikTok and transition them to your main audience. So
it's sort of a
because it's gonna be. I feel like TikTok's gonna be like another Vine. It's gonna probably go out, and you need to take those people and move them over to either YouTube, Facebook,
right.
or
It's a
Instagram.
tickler because it's only a few seconds anyway. But I've seen some pretty funny stuff by some pretty young people right here. All right, folks. Keelan Wendorf. If he's friends on my Facebook page, he'd be friends on your page. Check out the magic of Keelan Wendorf, climbing by the day, as far as followers go. And then the next show, right, February 23rd?
February 23rd.
At the Art Theater. It's a wonderful space. I think I remember the address. 530 Main Street even. God, this brain surgery ain't got squat on this head. You know, I got a lot more room for brain. This big brain, big head that I have. It's going to be great. $15 of tickets, right? At the door's $20, so that first drink's on you, obviously, if you wait. Yeah. But you can get beers and food, and the food over there is fantastic.
They have things called hot tots, and I love it. It's just tater tots with hot sauce on it and cheese. And
yeah?
Like, oh.
All right, I'm a tot man. Over at the place where I go to eat.
Langles?
It's called the Stadium Club. They have something called, I call it the tater tot football. Right, it's sort of shaped like a football. Big onions, mush or sour cream, cheese, tots. Crispy or not crispy?
I like them a little bit crispy.
A little bit crispy. You want to pick.
You don't
up
want to
on
do it too much. You just want that little bit of like
brownish right in because the soft center
if you get it
needs
soft,
a
it
crisp
kind of just
outside.
falls apart, and it's like. Yeah.
Try this air fryer. I'm telling you, not that you guys are at all needing of less fat in your diet, but. You can really crisp stuff up. I mean, you can go with that little extra edge if you want to. Or you don't have to. But all right, we're going to play some music and send Keelan and the lovely Brittany. I wanted her to say it because, again, it's, the match made in heaven. How about this one for you? This is the Craw Puppies.
All right.
Sunflower Girl. We'll be back for some spots. And I've got some Christmas holiday stuff for you. And I guess we'll talk. I've got it. I'll tease you with my hot topic or think piece of today, and that is I have found a new way to describe me in the political landscape. Like, everybody loves labels. Are you an R? Are you a D? Blue or red? I don't consider myself either one of those, but I've come up with a new moniker, and I'm not going to tell you because I want you to come back.
Okay.
I know it's going to be tough because this is the most fun we probably have. Although I got some good gifts to show you.
You got some good stuff over here.
What was your best gift you got?
Best gift I got? She got me a guitar.
Right? What kind of a guitar?
It's called a Rogue.
Okay. I could see that fitting you, right? Comedy Rogue. We'll play sometime. I'm a good C's, G's, D's, and A minors. So
I feel like I got to start doing, like, comedy music now.
Right? All right. Bump it in there, right? And use the whole thing, right? You can bang on it. Like, you watch Dimitri Martin.
All right.
You know who he is?
I have no idea who
He actually draws. He's able to draw funny pictures with both hands at once. Like,
really?
He's literally like the same. The pictures coming together, and it's not together till it's unreal. He's a real think piece guy, but he does really funny, goofy things with the computer. Adam Sandler, of course. is one of the kings of that.
He has
But
a new movie coming out, I think.
yeah, someone that's really
It's a
serious.
serious role that kind of threw me off.
Yeah, something Joker. Yeah,
It's a serious role. It threw me through a loop, though.
people are crushing. Well, I'll suggest again Netflix. My friend Nick Sansoni, who's going to be a music critic for his job because he's really good at it. We're in the middle of a Netflix show called A Marriage Story,
All right.
starring Adam Driver and the pretty gosh, I always forget her name. The short hair, beautiful one that plays all.
I feel like every time we need a good name, we always like when we need it.
I'm
It's
sorry.
Never there.
Again,
You know, on break, and
she
you're like,
dates Yost, the guy that writes on SNL. I know his name because I'm an SNL. She's the real pretty one. She plays White Widow, maybe, or Black Widow on the superhero stuff. Oh God! But she got in trouble because she played an Asian person or an Indian because they didn't hire an actual Indian. She's beautiful, but it's a great. It's Laura Dern's.
Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson. Why can't I remember that name? It's the Johansson part, I think. Yeah, her. Laura Dern, and even Alan Alda has a small episode. But everybody's howling over Knives Out, that one. Little Women, that's supposed to be great. You're one. The Adam Sandler one. Dang, I could. You know what? We have the internet right here.
Is the guy that was on The Office. He does like serious roles now too.
Right, Steve Carell. He's part of the Chicago Improv folks, by the way, and they all know him very well. We're going to look up Adam Sandler movie because I want you guys to know. Do you guys go to the movies? Youngsters go.
We're trying to go. I need to see the new Star Wars. I've not
Right.
seen it yet.
Me either. I thought that's what. Oh, Uncut Gems. That's it. Uncut Gems. And the do-over we just saw with him, and I know David Spade a little. He starred in that one, and yeah. So I love going to movies. The last I saw was we went to Freddie Mercury and then the other Star Wars. Wait, and then the Star is Born.
That was a good movie.
So that was our summer.
That was I haven't seen the original.
There's 3. Believe it or not, there's
Really?
3. Yeah. Judy Garland plays in the first. I watched the first one. It's about 3 hours long. It's pretty much a vehicle. Again, it developed over time. It was a vehicle just to get Judy Garland to that next scene where she sang another song. It was really, and then the Barbra Streisand one, and then this one. Yeah. I didn't know there was 3 either because I just sort of. This thing's great. You just tell it what you want to watch, and it'll just put it up there. It's like Alexa on your TV.
All right.
Right on. So yeah, you're gonna go see it. Uncut Gems against these guys say he's going to get a nomination, so maybe he should. You know how much money he's made? If you watched his most recent comedy special where he does the phone wallet keys, you've probably seen the video.
Oh
man.
yeah,
super funny.
He's got like the rap.
Yeah, I say I need likes, shares, and views for this based on that. But he says it in that special because he jokes about how many rotten apples he gets or doesn't get, whatever that status means. And he says $4 billion. all his movies together have grossed over $4 billion all together. That's Waterboy on at midnight, right? We could probably find it right now. Say what you want, people. I don't know. He's kind of universally likable. Done a whole lot. Like this guy, Keelan Wendorf. Check him out. Brittany, will you promise to friend me too? And then you can friend me in this page. Get me some likes and shares and views, and I will do the same because that's what we're doing.
Put it up right
on. You know who's got the technical skills to get me everybody on Earth? Big Ben. He's got all, do that. Hack into the U.S. government Facebook book and just get me everybody. And I can say, you know what, to my sponsors, which I'm going to talk about. And I was definitely thankful for them. I can get them a million views a day or something like that. Wouldn't it be crazy? People get them. I have friends that have videos out there that have 1 million views that I do comedy with. And I think it's insane. I don't know how it's possible. But here's Sunflower Girls from the Craw Puppies. We'll get those guys in here soon enough sometimes too. And we'll get more of Make My Day in a moment. Thanks a lot, Keelan.
No problem.
You're welcome back anytime. Rock it on February 23rd. I'm telling you, I'm gonna bring my own posse.
All right.
Be right back.
Early morning, rising with the sun. A child in nature. picture, she comes undone. If I can't make you stay, then you just have to go. Well, darling, there's some things we'll never know. My little sunflower girl. My little sunflower girl. Late in the evening, she's shining like the moon. She flows like a shadow. She heals across my wounds. If I can't make you change, then you just have to grow. Well, darling, there's some things you'll never know. My little sunflower girl. My little sunflower girl. And I watch her as she grows, praying to the Holy Son of God. She'll never know. Yeah, my little sunflower girl. Yeah, 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 yeah. My little sunflower girl. Oh, yeah. And if I can make you stay, then you just have to grow. Well, darling, there's some things you'll never know. My little sunflower girl. My little sunflower girl. My little sunflower girl. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My little sunflower girl.
He counts off. Okay.
Here we go again. This was all we ever wanted. This is all we'd ever planned. Here we are again. This was all we ever needed. It brought us back where we began. Let's call it what it
All right, here we go again. So we're going to pod that down for a moment. And we're going to take a quick commercial break and play all of our fine commercials. But you could chime in if you wanted to right now. at 720-33 My Day. I had a great holiday week that started out with heading over to Big Frank's Sausage Monday night. As you can see on my personal page, and I'll put some pictures up of lunch today, which is leftovers. We picked up some pierogi. We got the white cheese, the sweet, the cheddar, and mushroom, dozen of each. A dozen potato pancakes, and a pound of the smoked sausage. Now, the smoked sausage is something that's sort of just extra in our stuffed cabbage. He said galumki, Keelan did. Some people say sarma. In our family, we just said stuffed cabbage. And I've stuffed it different ways. I've done turkey, ground turkey. I've done the cauliflower rice instead of regular. I've done the brown rice. All are good if you have a good sauce. So what we did there is we had the opportunity to share some time with a South Side of Chicago group of Polish carolers. And Stan was on this last week. Stan Stefanski, owner, operator, CEO of Big Frank's Sausage, telling us they were coming in, and it just worked out that I was going to pick up my food same day as I got a chance to stick around, watch the first half of the Monday night game, as well as hear the carolers. They were amazing. And they had instruments and, lots of different types of, but they knew how to play them. How do I know? Is because they were able to riff in and out of the song with music that just sort of fit. It was like a jazz version of Polish carols, but they sang like Silver Bells and Jingle Bells and some American classics, but it was fun to hear them sing in the Polish, and Tony Panic, of course, was there, my friend. And his dad and his grandpa were also there, and they knew the words to all of the Polish songs. So they were sitting right behind where I was sitting behind them, I guess. I sat with Stan right at the doorway there, the back door. And they came in and they performed to everybody around the way. Stan and Jill had a nice a place setting for the guys that come from Chicago to perform in there. Did a handful of songs, and then they were gone. But that's how it started out. And then we Christmas Eve, the regular, same as everybody. You got to do one. I have to do one Christmas Story and one It's a Wonderful Life. I don't have to, but I want to. And my wife says in It's a Wonderful Life, she keeps saying different stuff every year. I'm like, that's because you never sit down and watch it, because she's a go gadget girl. She just sometimes can't sit. But I did have her finish My Name is Dolomite, by the way, which is pretty darn good. If you like Eddie Murphy at all, it is very funny. I really loved it. So we got to watch those two. We watched the 1955 version of Miracle on 34th Street, which is not the Natalie Wood. It's not the Elizabeth Perkins, which of course is the recent one. And I say Elizabeth Perkins because she's the only one I can remember that was in that second, the colored version, besides the little girl that was, I think, the youngest daughter on Mrs. Doubtfire, right? Wasn't that? Yeah. But we always, my wife likes the Natalie one the best. And I say it's because of I like that one best because of the drunk lady that says, oh, which way to the food? The dad guy gets the martinis to make sure that they can still keep the same Santa that's doing such a great job there. So we watched that. We watched Elf. We watched Die Hard. I hadn't seen Die Hard in years. I don't even remember the story. It's not a movie I see. I don't know. I don't see it as a movie I want to keep watching over. Maybe you can tell me why you guys do that. Seriously. It's the robbery story. I mean, Hans Gruber is a great actor, right? Snape. What's Rickman, right? Alan Rickman's his name. Fantastic bad guy. And then, the tall blonde guy with the long blonde hair. Wasn't he the Money Pit guy, right? He was in love with Shelley Long and Tom Hanks in the Money Pit. He's a pretty good bad guy, but I don't know. I'd rather watch Charlie Brown Christmas than Die Hard. He's got the catchphrases, yippee-ki-yays, and welcome to the party, pal. I heard it. Bruce Willis is cool. I'm not saying he isn't. I loved Moonlighting back in the day. I'm a big fan, actually. Bruce Willis, cool by me. But I just don't see it as that fun of a great movie. I mean, I could write that as long as I have enough missiles and things. And you've got a Hans Gruber there to just look totally mean at everybody. I don't know. Brutal murders, like if you say one wrong word, they just shoot you. There was no compelling reason for the deaths, I guess, in that movie. But let's not talk about the deaths. We're talking about the birth of Christ, right? It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Best Christmas. I mean, Little Drummer Boy, right? That's the animated one, the animation one, when the tears came out of his eyes, and it was just, I loved that one. We watched that every year because I liked the following the star, and the songs that go with it. So that was the Christmas Eve, and we hosted. We had some folks over, and I had hoped my friends would have come by. I had a couple friends that Eric and those guys going to come by. Tim, I was hoping maybe would have come by. Maybe Troy, even, who knows? But we have more food if you guys want to come by tonight. Although I was thinking about, don't forget it's Thursday, right? If you're watching this, Paul Henry's got their open mic night tonight, which we've gone and done improv at. There's also a fun one at Flat Rock Tap right down the street, not far on off Calumet Avenue. That's run by my friends Mark Adrian from Rocket Boat and other various bands. He's fantastic, by the way. Just going there to just listen to him play is worth every bit of going, whether you're performing or not. So that's Thursday night. But so we started opening gifts in the morning, and one of the things on my list was I used to work shift work at two different jobs. This one's a neat one. Again, you know what this is, right? It's an eye mask. It's just an eye mask. Believe it or not, it's not just an eye mask, and I'll tell you why. But I used to work shift work when I worked at the Lake County Juvenile Center, and you worked holidays and you worked weekends and things. Because the kids were there and you had to be there to serve them. So a lot of times and then after that I worked at the South Lake Mental Health when I was getting my master's degree in business, and that was like 2 double shifts on the weekend so I could study and go to college during the week. And then again, right, so there was at least one day there where I had to sleep during the day, and I would use an eye mask. This is a special one. How about this? If you're someone who really is, I'm a high anxiety, high energy guy. I always am. I like to get a lot of things done during the day, and honestly, this medicine that I've been on, which I'm almost off, thank God. I've been weaning off. I'll have enough energy to even really, really punch it. I mean, 220 we're building. That's my saying for 2020. 2020, we build, and that means you're here to help me build. Hopefully. We need listeners. We need likes, shares, and views. That's what gets us going. That's what helps our sponsors. I got gifts from our sponsors. The food, right, from Big Frank's. We got some items from It's Just Serendipity, which, you know what? My next commercial break, I can go there and do it. And then we're going to play our commercials in a moment. And then, of course, we had Rich Baker on this last month. He is a professor, a teacher, an instructor of improv out in Hollywood at the Second City in Hollywood. There's a picture of him from Texas. Saw some pictures of him today. And this is his new book that's pressed called Improv Made Easier. That was on my list of things that I really wanted, and I've already started. Right, we're probably on chapter 2 there. And then, of course, the greatest album ever that I can, with my buddy Steve's list, and Steve Dahl, who used to be on the same station, by the way, just many years ago than I was. We used to be able to do this by heart, by the way. So it's very fun. You got the 12 Days of Christmas. It's got the song Take Off on it with Geddy Lee from Rush. But here it is. Here's the best thing. This is where we're going to go to commercial break with something super positive, because we're going to get right through. I got some regular reads as well, but I've got some news to do with you, and we're going to do it. So before we go to commercial break, I'm going to just show you. This is the best gift I got. So it's final report, right? It's my final report. 2018. Then I got a clean bill of health from the doctor. I'm not sure if there could be anything monetarily one could have that beats that. And surviving is a good thing. It's not the only thing, though. I ain't done by a long shot. Just being a survivor of cancer is something to be proud of, but that means I have to use this time wisely and do the best I can at doing the best I can. And you know who does that? You know who does that? The Hammond Council.
Downtown Hammond, Indiana. You'll have a fun and festive time while supporting small and local businesses. Enjoy shopping, dining, brewery, the arts, and events. Like and visit the Downtown Hammond Council on Facebook. For a listing of where to go and what to do, call Karen at 219-512-4298 between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. Hammond is happening.
Looking for a friend who knows how to be a good listener? Humane Indiana in Munster has four-legged friends waiting to meet you. Open daily at 11 a.m., Humane Indiana provides many animal services from rescue to daily care. They provide on-site education while managing a wildlife preserve. At the main facility located at 421 45th Street, the staff awaits your visit. Ron Harlow Media would like to thank Director Brian Fitzpatrick and Board Vice President Scott Filler from Apex Construction and Remodeling for their support. Visit Humane Indiana and leave with a new member of the family. To find out more, visit the Humane Indiana website or dial 219-922-3811.
We are taking the hassle out of holiday shopping at It's Just Serendipity. Gifts for everyone on your shopping list for every budget. We carry everything vintage and antique, handcrafted, upcycled, and repurposed goods by local artists, yummies prepared by local vendors such as honey, toffee, and biscotti. Carry decor, memorabilia, and custom gift baskets. Shop small with us at 5630 Homan Avenue in downtown Hammond, Indiana. Like It's Just Serendipity on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, or visit our website, itsjustserendipity.com.
Since 1964, Springer Realty has been helping homeowners save thousands when buying or selling their home. Springer Realty is locally owned, provides full service start to finish, and will handle all the paperwork and details. Why pay those high commissions in a seller's market when one phone call can literally save you thousands? Visit us at SpringerSellsHomes.com or call 219-838-0180. Springer Realty.
Have you played today? Playful activity can be anything from taking a walk to your favorite neighborhood deli to picking up a game of soccer with your friends. But most importantly, bringing a playful mindset to everyday life can elevate your mood, increase your energy, and your thirst for life. I'm Crystal, the Playful Trainer. I'm a health, life, and fitness coach. It's my passion to help you find playful ways to get you active, achieve your health goals, and live a more fulfilling life. My new book, The Playful Journal, has been featured on the Make My Day podcast, TuneIn radio show, and in the Northwest Indiana Times. I'm available for individual, group, and online coaching, or I'd love to speak at your next event. You can find me at theplayfultrainer.com or on Facebook or Instagram. Stay playful.
Experience Broadway in Northwest Indiana. Established as the top provider of entertainment, Theater at the Center in Munster brings you the best in live theater, music, and comedy without city prices and parking hassle. With its elegant setting and superb talent, Theater at the Center in the Round makes each production must-see. 5-star dining is optional for select shows in each of the Thursday night performances. For show dates, times, and prices, visit theateratthecenter.com or call 219-836-3255. Ask about becoming a subscriber. Discounted tickets and priority seating are just a few of the benefits you'll receive. Call 219-836-3255. Theater at the Center. You'll leave impressed. Now listen to Harlow tell you about what's on stage right now.
Right now, move. This is my top one, Rick. Thanks to Kubik, Music Underdogs, for some funk. My name is Big Funk. If you don't know that, you ain't checked the papers lately. That's right. What's going on at Theater Center? Well, we got some hip-hop happening stuff in just a couple of days. On the 28th, they've got the four C notes coming in. They are going to recreate the music of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. So please check Theater at the Center or cvpa.com for tickets, prices, availability, and all that. And then you heard us talk about him. Nick Gaze has got a show, Comedy Night at the CVPA on the 29th. He will be hosting and bringing in a great comedian I'll tell you about in a second. And on New Year's Eve, if that's what you're going, you want to hang out, listen to some Motown and do some dancing. That's the 31st with a group called Motown and More. That's their show. And they've already scheduled up here as a January 10th comedy show with Nick Geza. January 11th with Casimir. We've got Buddy Holly tribute coming. Let me tell you about the comedy night on the 29th. And, Yeah, this guy. Yeah, Mike Saccone. He won Star Search, right? And he's had television roles on Sybil and Empty Nest and other items. Pretty cool. The meal, right? This is a dinner thing. Let's see what the main dishes are for you. Roast turkey and savory dressing. Um, they've got braised Italian sausage, broiled haddock, orecchiette pesto creme, chicken a la king, and a puff pastry as well. So that's all included if you want it. $45 includes dinner and the show. Just the show alone is $27. Cash bar available. That's just the little things we got going. We're gonna thank those guys. Let's start again. I wore this shirt my last show, and I haven't said much about them, but we want to thank Tim and Jeff and the folks over at Springer Realty. And if you don't know Springer Realty, and you're looking for a realtor, I want to let you know that I've not spent a ton of time with these guys when they're in their work setting, but I have for portions of it. And an outing, right, where we were supposed to be just sort of having fun and enjoying each other's time. We did a ton of that, which is amazing. I'm hoping that I might be able to do this. Honestly, the way as good as they do, not close in the beginning, I'll bet. But they were on the phone and handling customer needs throughout the entire day. And we started out in the morning and we left when it was dark at night. We left each other. And they were helping out pretty much the whole way. So Springer Realty, check them out. And I think that they're tireless. You got to buy a house. You got to sell a house. You're going to need to do it with somebody. I say you do it with Jeff and Tim. They are my recommendation. And if you tell them Harlow sent you, I think I get something. I'd be happy just to keep their sponsorship, honestly. So if you just mention that I was part of it, or I mentioned Springer Realty to you, and you decide to sell your house or buy a house, get a second house, right? Your economy's way up. You're up 10,000 in the Dow just in the last several years. So I think that it might behoove you just to go get another house, right? In case this one you don't like, you can have another house. We got houses on this block for sale right now. But I'm going to do a segment through until the end of the year. I'm going to call them thank yous and spank yous, right? So the thankings and the spankings are going to be throughout this show until New Year's Day. A lot of people doing stories of the year and this and that. If we can base our government's ability to tell the truth on Pinocchios, I think you guys can go with thanking and spanking, right? I think that's probably right up your alley if you like Pinocchios as part of. I don't know. It's almost like they're given a pass, right? I mean, they're sort of making a joke or something funny, something making light of lying, right? Pinocchio's nose grew out when he was a liar. It is a reference to lying. Oh, you got 4 Pinocchios on that one. Oops, me? Oh, you're kidding me. And now we prosecute people because they're lying or they lied even Clinton, right? Lied about a blowjob or whatever relationship. These people lie. Are you in a world that doesn't know that? Gild the lily, exaggerate the truth. Tell people that you've got a packed house, stump with a candidate in town, and the entire top level, there's nobody there. That's stretching the truth. Maybe you can feel like it's a packed house with just the bottom half full. I don't know. But the stretching of the truth, that happens all the time, I think. Locally here, the story I'm probably getting to more tomorrow. I'm going to be out tomorrow, too. And I think I'm going to go solo and play some of my great music that I have from my local artists. Still looking for more, though. If you got it, I want it. East Chicago Police schedule now getting a chance. That's the headline above the fold today in the Times. That the cop schedules might change. As you know, there's a legal battle now set between the Mayor Copeland, and the City Council in regards to the schedule of the firemen who were on a set schedule and are now have put themselves where they're going to be disrupted. It's already started. It's just disrupted their lives, disrupted their patterns. But in essence, that their discussion is for the change that there will be some money saved. But I read the article. I've read these articles. No one really talks about any dollar amount yet. I don't know. How do you assess a change that says it's going to save money down the road and you don't even have a ballpark? Aren't governments like really known for throwing out ballpark numbers, right? I mean, think about the train. We started at like less than 500 mil for 8 miles of train. It's like 900 mil. So they're more than willing to throw out numbers. Just throw out a number. Maybe we can jump behind that. So the police are facing another schedule. They were on 4 on, 3 off. Now they're going to go 5 on, 2 off as a part of it. My guess is that when these things happen, even the previous one, change is preferred. Someone at the top, whether it be chiefs or mayors or council, whatever, involved with this. And when these things happen, change is preferred. They want people to say "screw you" and quit. It happens a lot. Boy, could I give you some examples? I really could of making the rigors of. I mean, there's movies about it, right? People putting people through the rigors to make them quit, right? Treating them poorly, that kind of thing. That's a big part of it. So that's just a guess. I would guess that they want some sort of change there, and they're going to get it. NIPSCO fined $1 million. This was last week, right? In reference to, I think, illegal, hiring practices in regards to temporary meter reading positions that were available. NIPSCO, right? I mean, I don't know. I would expect a rate increase, right? That's who pays for their stuff. We do. You can't. NIPSCO is there unless you live on firewood. NIPSCO is your business. And again, to have a fine here is it's not a surprise to me. Again, who doesn't love NIPSCO? The jobs there are precious and hard to come by in many ways. Folks that I know that work there are great people, but you got to know somebody to know somebody. Unless you have some super skills, NIPSCO is again a monopoly. They are always going to be they're always going to encourage transit, though, right? I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't NIPSCO people. I'm paying and love what you guys do. 2 of my favorite people in the region work there. I've seen them work in this neighborhood on people's stuff. But there's no way they're going outside of the idea of not finding ways to try to figure out how to get more people here, right? We're losing population left and right. And whether this train or this TOD or transit-oriented development comes along to help bring that in, I think the taxes in Illinois is going to stuff them. We're finally going to get enough people here to fill all the spots, and hopefully we'll get our high schools back in order and bring in the tax dollars we need to take care of it. But again, NIPSCO always going to be for this type of project because their income depends on people renting this wonderful service you see above my head, and that's allowing us to connect this microphone right here, right? They have to be for it because without, you're not going to have a NIPSCO on the top of a mountain in India. And I reference that because I've talked about the story about India being very active in the election market, and they have a precinct one on the top of this mountain where one guy votes. That's how interested they are in making sure you have elections, accessible elections, like this guy. All right, then we're going to talk about my key thought point of the day. Unless you want to chime in with your Christmas, 720-33 My Day, I will take your call, and it will be grand. But I'd love to hear your comments on this next segment, which is the meat of the show that I wrote for today, or I thought about. I've been thinking about this for a while. Right, this impeachment thing hit. We've got people complaining, Pelosi getting yelled at, impeachment here, impeachment there, Republicans waiting for this, Democrats waiting for this, ha-ha, this, and everybody, ha-ha. Right? Then I feel like, ha-ha, I got you, ha-ha, ha-ha. It's a got you society we have. And this is really a discussion for people that don't think of we and they in the terms that a lot of Democrats and Republicans think of themselves. I don't think that way. The we is Americans. We are Americans. They are people that are not Americans. Like they would like to come to America. We are. All of we. I don't know how else you think about it. When I grew up, that's what I thought of our presidents. Once they got in, they served everybody. It wasn't nearly as partisan as the way that we are right now. And the climate in what we have right here has me extremely displeased. Both sides upside down. So, and again, right? And if you abstain from taking a side with either of these parties, which again, it's the illusion of choice. By the way, they force you to have two parties because if they had one, they couldn't call it freedom, could they? Because having the illusion of choice. Again, anybody that votes independent, you are chastised by many. Anybody that thinks that a libertarian is a party worth chasing, you are again. 48% vote on both sides, but these 3% in the middle, I guess, right? These are the worst people on earth that have an independent mind and independent thought. You get that? Realize that we don't conform to the way you think about how your ideology of the way the parties run doesn't match, and that's what feels in my heart. I feel like the ideology of these parties, one fits, but it's not at all being adhered to. Is that the word? Let's start here. Partisanship. This is for folks again that love the word partisanship. They've used this phrase right now. Right, we've got Buttigieg up number one poll in Iowa. We've got Sanders up in New Hampshire. That makes sense, though, isn't he? He's up there, isn't he? That's where he does his politicking. So he should be up there, I guess. But this is for the people that say that far side, this side, that. And I have enough friends, diverse friends, where literally it can be like a checkerboard. You guys suck. You guys suck. I mean, it's back and forth. They're not even related. Nobody's related in these topics at all. This could be comedy people and fans, other people of the show or what I used to do or comedy or whatever. They're not like communicating in the same thread. They're just spouting the same stuff every day to the others. There's some of us in the middle that find that not only divisive, but like almost crushing to what we are looking at as a nation at this point, right? Pretty divisive, pretty hateful rhetoric out there all the time. If you come up with an idea, which I'm calling myself, again, this is the phrase that I've come up with to counter those folks that think that I'm not making a choice by saying I don't like what we're doing on either side. And I'm going to call myself far middle. Far left, far right. I'm far middle. Well, what's far middle, Ron? Well, I'm far from happy at the current system. I'm far from happy about this. And I could give you a bunch of points. I could go with one point to start with. It's more likely for you in this country to die of an opioid overdose than it is to die in a car accident at this point. I am far from happy about that. Is the drug industry involved with politics? That's a rhetorical question. They pay these guys to keep doing this. I've been on hydrocodone. I've had enough surgeries for 5 lifetimes, and long enough for it as well. I've been on this stuff. It's not something you can be on or not be on. You got to be on it. I mean, when half of your body over here is split open like a loaf of bread and it's sewn together, you're going to be in some pain. So they put you on this stuff that on more than one occasion I had a hard time weaving my way through. I got through, right? Right, and some people can't. There's addictive. I mean, some people can't. It's addictive tendencies. But again, we provide plenty of opportunities for these doctors to take advantage, and certainly the drug companies to continue to force this poison down our throat. More likely to die of an opioid overdose in this country than a car accident. Think about that. I mean, we talk about car accidents all the time. And why far middle? Why you don't like it, Ron? I guess at the essence of it, you don't know these people. Why I got this Warren or Bernie or Joe Biden? You don't know these people. The reason you have, and I have plenty of friends up the totem pole that can meet famous people on both sides of the rung of politics, but the reason that you have a selfie with them is because you don't know them. I don't often sit and take selfies with my cousins if they're over here playing cards or something, right? If you're meeting a political, you don't know them outside of what they spout here, and I don't know them either. I just know what I see. And what I've seen in my entire lifetime is one. Let's talk about one issue: the immigration problem. Has it gotten worse when the kids in cages, taking them away from their adults? Some system of waiting in line 6 years to go and get your citizenship seems a little insane. Waiting in line for health care, people, what do they? I don't know. What do they call them? Coyoting kids over because they're not even their parent. They just want to come in. All this stuff. None of this stuff's been fixed in my entire life on this planet. But yet everything's Trump's fault, or it was right, or before that it was Obama's fault. One guy. No one's fixed this in my entire life. But you guys, again, you get to get on your high horse and yell at somebody when it wasn't fixed when your guy was in. I have to say guy because my girl hasn't got in yet, sadly. I have a mind of my own. Man, it is just thriving, though. I mean, it is beyond thoughts. Again, I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says Far Middle. Not been used before. If it's out there, it's not been used by anything that I saw. But again, I'm far from pleased at the system that we have where both sides take money from both people. Now, right, I'd like Elizabeth Warren, all right? She's one of the people I like in this group. She's only taking small donors now because of that. She had big donors. I mean, because you can do it now once you're all the way to the second highest boxable gig in the entire country. Now you can take small donors because everybody on the planet knows you. Right? I don't see how we've over here, right? With Bloomberg and Tom Steyer together spent $200 million already. $200 million, that's a two. $200 million on political ads. Like I said, I know more about Bloomberg now than I know of myself or my wife. That's for sure, because his commercials are on every second. Think about it in these terms and how ridiculous you sound when you say my team, your team. What you're saying to me is, I can name way more issues. Veterans affairs screwed up. Teacher system, certainly in Illinois, completely screwed up. Right, a lot of folks are under the gun there. But what you're trying to get me to believe when I say you want me to take a stand on one of your teams that I believe has failed us miserably. Not everybody's the worst. A lot of them are pretty much the worst, just power-hungry people that are there to take care of theirs and theirs. What you're trying to get me to believe is that, hey, our millionaires and billionaires that we don't know, that haven't solved some of the major crises, guns and murder and health care and that's not cured. Not even close. All those things are probably the worst in this country. Right? The gun thing for sure, murders and things, worse than a stackable number of countries in the entire world. Your millionaires and billionaires that have not fixed these things, and some of you, some even encourage violence or encourage or deflect when there's violence from your team. You are better at managing our money than the other team's millionaires and billionaires, because that's what they are. Both of these groups, they don't relate to you unless you're up there with them. Do they listen? I keep hearing how this bit of time between the whole impeachment deal that they've been able to pass 300 bills. What are they? Why don't we study that a little more? Wouldn't it be nice to know what they've covered? The bill I saw today was something that Trump put out or his signing off on okaying more feces and pork products, so when we eat them, there's less standards, thus, allowing them to probably, right? It's cheap. The big part, right? You can make businesses profitable if you take away the accountability of the economy, right? Think about the Chinese steel company. When the state runs it, boy, and you don't have to have a profit, I guarantee you can show some growth numbers, right? Growth numbers drive stock prices. Boom, you've got it. If they had a stock that you could buy into. But I guess I can't get under the idea that your millionaires and billionaires, again, that you don't know. Again, some right here in Northwest, I'm going to make a joke. When Hillary Clinton came, you had to give her $2,500, right, to wait into a hallway, because I saw the picture of everybody. It was almost like one of those fire videos where everyone's trying to get out the door at the same time. To see someone who I feel is a pretty much defined crook, right? someone who I believe lacks sincerity, honesty, um, take. Hypocrisy at the highest level, considering the money that goes to the Clinton Foundation that she spouts about women's rights and women's. She takes monies from countries that don't allow women to have squat, or gay people dead. She takes money from them. Clinton Foundation does. So again, that's a horrible person. Do you know how much power I would need to secure in my life to give this person $2,500? Think about it. You're asking me to do that, Democrats or Republicans. He's got all this money. We're raising this stuff. The people my age don't have a whole lot more money, I don't think, right? They're working more jobs. They might have a few more hours. There might be some jobs available, but they're not crushing it. The administrations are. One of our big high schools just gave the administrator a 7.5% raise. Biggest high school around here. Most expenditures they're in, right? He's probably spent all his money and ideas on the big expansion, right, of the high school. Do you need more money? Guess you need more money, right? We made jokes with Keelan, right? I'm going to continue to make jokes about it. We had a council that's outgoing, a lame duck, give the guy $25,000 bonus. Then he quit because he saw the new people were coming in because it was a lame duck, the three people that were out. They gave all each other plaques. They got plaques, and they all gave each other plaques. It's in the paper. Other people get plaques and give it to you. You don't buy them and give them to yourself, right? You want me to be? At least it was a Republican group. The guy, I guess, got a new job. He's taking his $25,000, and he's going to Colorado, I guess. That's the Republican group for you. And anything I got, you want me to in on that? Lame duck giving away your tax dollars to a guy that stole signs, right? That's all. When I heard about the guy, and again, he could be the greatest worker guy. Maybe this was his one thing. But the video, they stole the signs, said he didn't. There's video. Oops, I did. That's a liar, right? I don't know what you guys define in this. People saying that he taught me everything in the article. Well, then you've learned to lie because he's chosen to learn to lie. You want me to get in on that? Yeah, I can't get past the hypocrisy. I pick people from both of these teams, usually from the one team because that's all that runs around here in Northwest Indiana for the most part. At least where I live, it'd be very difficult for us to put on, a massive push for any independent parties in that way. But my guess is that's the real test. If you can get people to stop being me or we and say, wait, maybe a third party or 4 or 5, some people think it's coming, might actually put us in a position where people wouldn't be so comfy in this two-party system. Have you ever heard some of the speech of the party chairs on either party? It was a different guy in when Bernie and Hillary were going through stuff together. The way they spoke, they're like, we don't care. I mean, they do not care. It's the Kang and what's the guy, the two aliens from Simpsons. Throw your vote. That same kind of thing. They do not care. Go ahead and vote for your independent. You're not going to. We don't even want you part of us. They have verbiage inside their articles of whatever that they discourage and will squash any grassroots efforts to take over the party. Now, Elizabeth Warren speaks in grassroots campaigning all the time. If she gets up there, I guess she can't win because they're going to squash her. It's in the bylaws. Now go read it. I found it. It's in there. Chuck or Ken probably are the ones that turned me onto it, but it's in there. They talk about, we run this stuff, and you want our money, you want our time, and I'm back to the original point. Who runs it? The money people run it. They run it. The opioid people, the drug people, right? They get slapped on the wrist. If we want to know about it, right? Don't you think about this NIPSCO story, right? Again, the fine about NIPSCO. It's the organization that got fined, but these are individuals that made these decisions. No further in-depth coverage on that. Just saying. I mean, if we want the story, that's the story. Who was in office and who chose to not hire these part-time people enough that you were willing to say, yeah, I'll pay $1,000. $1 million to get rid of the problem that we've had. What? I'm surprised that the stories of the year never include us, by the way. Never include us. What should be there, right? What should be there? Certainly, the sheriff and the boom, boom, boom going down. That should have been a national story, all dropping. Certainly, the councilman that self-defensively shot the guy in the back and killed him and is in jail. That should be a scene. I never saw it on CNN. Again, when something happens so like out of a TV show, right? Caught with $100,000, right? He did, and there's maybe working with trying to figure out how he's the line of, the drugs that were coming in, and that didn't happen. And then we've got a councilman in Gary who was went on the alleged vigilante sting, and possibly shot his own car and kidnapped a kid, and he gets to just keep on working. That's stories that the news should do, right? I mean, we're all funny with we all like Greta and what she had to say, but I think it would be important that I mean, I know it's Northwest Indiana, it's Gary, Indiana, it's near Chicago's loop of corruption, most corrupt area in probably in the entire America, I would guess. But it's not. These are stories that are interesting for a reason because they're so outrageous, I guess. But again, you want me to jump on that? You want me to be the Democrat? How do you justify that? Well, that's just a rogue guy. I'm sorry. At the roots of it is a system that doesn't matter. That doesn't really take you into account. Are they meeting your needs? That's the good question. Are the Democrats or the Republicans, when they get in and do things, are they meeting your needs? Now, if your needs are financial right now and you have some money, you're probably doing great, right? But money isn't everything. Decorum, pleasant living is part of it. And right now, I don't think a lot of people are pleasant living. They're not happy. And I guess my goal is to make people happy. Not just your half or the other half. The happiness comes from a job well done, and I think that I do that. And being far middle, trying to keep both sides accountable instead of, that was just one guy. And then, but he did, but you, not this guy, he was this one. Oh, how do you get past the word hypocrisy in your own? How do you look in the mirror and say, boy, like John Abbott said on our last Wednesday, said like Kiefer Sutherland in 24, if you're behind the idea that you don't have time for the rules, then you're a vigilante and you're someone who doesn't really belong in management. Do you think Adam Schiff helped you guys out, Democrats, with his parody of what something could have been, right? And then there's certain things that they're holding out on. Do you think it's legal for anybody in the White House to stop Congress from asking for anything? That's literally their checks and balance up to the White House. You're saying if you give up their stuff because these people are the ones. That's right? That's where we have the three branches. They look over you and decide things. If you're holding back stuff, then you must be guilty, right? You can't say I'm just not, if there's stuff there to exonerate you, then you should give it, right? Otherwise, you look guilty. Now, I didn't like the way Schiff said he can come in and then, what do you say, argue his side. No, you're the accusers. That's not how this works. If you accuse, then you prove him guilty, Trump. But they have to give you what you request in the same way. He doesn't have to defend himself. He can sit there and say nothing. That's how the judicial system works. Right? You've heard of the Fifth Amendment. I'm sure you get that in this level, too. He can't lie, but he can just zip it, right? He can use the Fifth Amendment. Of course, that usually means quite a bit of guilt is going on. But in this case, I bet if you're far middle, post it on the page. I bet you there's some far middles out there that just says, guys, we need to take a look at this and realize that we really can't fix this without fixing our own folks first. How do we do that? Massive changes. The only way for change is voter change. Not only do you have to show up, but new dudes, new ladies, new ideas. Younger people would be nice, right? That's the only way that change happens. Ron, well, that's going to be the same people again. They just then new again. You knew until they get the idea. Are you with me? Sometimes it would be better off if we had rookies in there that didn't know what they were doing and how to screw things up if in their favor, versus learning from the current path we've always done it that way, people, is what I'm asking. If that's too much to ask, then hate me for it. I realize that, again, if I don't take a stand against it with you or with them, then I'm not taking a stand on baloney. There's much fewer people like me. There's way more people like me than you know. They just don't talk about it. They just don't talk about it at all. That's not my job, though. My job is to keep my finger on the tabs of what was going on here in the region and beyond. So I like to do it, and I think I come up with some pretty creative ideas beyond your regular, same old beer. I mean, have you heard the phrase far middle? I don't think you have. I just don't. And I'm claiming it for my very own. I'm far from happy. I'm far from pleased. We're pretty far from the Constitution, I think, in many ways, from what they thought it would be, right? Do you think what was the life expectancy when they did it? Like 40, 45? You think when they go, what we got the Constitution and it says we can shoot people and the election boxes, guns are way different. The manipulation of this world is beyond. There's no way the Constitution was set to meant people to stay in office for 65 years. No way. No way. Even these guys, right? The guys that were in there, we're going to be in for short and we're going to be out. That's what they did. We got guys in office long enough that their tenure alone can get Social Security. That's a big problem. You know what's not a problem? Going to the dentist. This one.
Dr. Tori's Dental Shop in Cherville is a dentist to the stars. Her wealth of knowledge in the area of pain management, plus her ability to communicate the process, makes you feel like a star. The practice is growing for all the right reasons. Call and set up an appointment before her client book is full. Call 219-322-4036 and tell them you heard about it right here on Ron Harlow Media. Dr. Tori's Dental Shop is located at 130 East Joliet Street in Cherville at 219-322-4036. Call and feel better about every dental visit you ever have again.
Spend the holidays with us in downtown Hammond, Indiana. You'll have a fun and festive time while supporting small and local businesses. Enjoy shopping, dining, brewery, the arts, and events. Like and visit the Downtown Hammond Council on Facebook. For a listing of where to go and what to do, call Karen at 219-512-4298 between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. Hammond is happening.
Looking for a friend who knows how to be a good listener? Humane Indiana in Munster has four-legged friends waiting to meet you. Open daily at 11 a.m., Humane Indiana provides many animal services from rescue to daily care. They provide on-site education while managing a wildlife preserve. At the main facility located at 421 45th Street, the staff awaits your visit. Ron Harlow Media would like to thank Director Brian Fitzpatrick and Board Vice President Scott Filler from Apex Construction and Remodeling for their support. Visit Humane Indiana and leave with a new member of the family. To find out more, visit the Humane Indiana website or dial 219-922-3811.
This PSA brought to you by the makers of sauerkraut. Sauerkraut, it's a side dish. It is. It is. It totally is. I'm about to side dish some of that later. Thanks to Big Frank Sausage, which, you know what, we haven't got his spot finished yet. We had to get Stan over there to read it. So I'm going to play Stan. This is Stan from Big Frank Sausage. Who's ready for a Polish? Stop by our bigger and better location at 918 Carroll Street in Roxanna, East Chicago. With an expanding menu, Big Frank Sausage has drinks for all ages with craft beers, Zwias and Okuchum, which I had by the other day, on tap. Family dining and catering available. Look for booth locations and at events on the Facebook page. Check the page for their next comedy night or live entertainment. Call ahead to order. Or to hear more about it, give them a call, 219-378-9556. You'll rave about their Sunday brunch from 11 to 5. Come watch NFL Ticket, which they have. Tell us you heard us right here on Ron Harlow Media. We want you to say that. He's going to say this about me. He's a great guy and very entertaining who works hard for the region. Thank you, Stan. Big Frank Sausage, as seen on Chicago's Best. Great food, great sports, great entertainment. Schmaschnagel, Enos Drovia. That's his read till it gets done. Of course, you want to thank our friends from Baxter Printing as well. Again, a fine union shop right there on Ridge Road in Highland, owned by the Trotsy family since 1980. They are a proud union shop. We're proud to support them as they support us, definitely. And we'll spend some time together over the holidays, which is going to be cool. But they will do everything from design, print to mail. They've got a lot of projects going and are doing a fine job. Really great community organization. Have been a part of it for as long as I can remember. The father, Jim, great man, R.I.P., was a police chief in Highland my entire life, as pretty much my young life as I became friends with Dave. But to call them, give Dave a call, 923-1999, 219-923-1999, and they'll take care of you. If I don't have them, I do. Hang on. From design, print, these are my new cards. I showed you. My whole family was over yesterday for dinner. I didn't give them one card. It was nice to take a day off of thinking business, although I talked a great deal about all my great guests that I have had on. But again, I will thank all them too, certainly. I should start with, I really enjoyed, having Eli on and Eli Hernandez and Nick Gaza on the same day, two stalwart entertainers in the region. Here you go. That's the Make My Day. I've got the catchphrase. I was with Bob Crowell from Crowell Insurance, and I handed him a card the other day, and I said, "Can you see that?" I said, "Don't forget to give me a plug." Corny. But that's me. Here's the Make My Day side. If you can see the little sun there, that's sun for day, right? It's the daytime. And then a little microphone in there. They helped me design. Oh, actually, Jillian Van Volkenberg designed the logos, but the rest, again, done very reasonably at Baxter Printing. So take care of that over there. All right, back to the point of the day. Again, the polls, right? We've got polls out. The point of trying to figure out where people lie in their votes. Again, you don't know these people really. They're all millionaires except for Buttigieg, right? How do you relate to a millionaire? I have some millionaire friends. You know what they like to talk about? A lot of money. And when you don't have a lot of it, or that's not really important to you, why is it important, right? It's a Charles Barkley line. It's the only thing on this earth you cannot live without. Some form of money, right? That's for sure, even though it's fiat and going to be worthless maybe one day. We need more regular people running. What will that take? I don't know. We were looking at the article in the paper this week that the Times did. Great. I don't know. I like the Times myself. Mark Chase, dear friend of mine. Again, first winner of my annual prize for outstanding service in the region. They put out an article about the salaries of council folks. And, honestly, to look at the salaries themselves, nobody's is really outrageously super duper high. It's the administration that makes all the big money. But the irony to it, though, is if you look at success and failure currently as an economic basis, the lowest paid council people are in these most successful and growing areas like Crown Point. And then in the bigger cities, that used to be the top deal, where populations are dipping and services are dipping. Some of those make 3 or 4 times as much as the folks in Crown Point. Was that fair? One of them, allegedly took shots at his own car that was stolen and went on a whole vigilante sort of thing, allegedly. Now he gets to still keep his job and do everything he's done. So I'd never do anything to disgrace my family. Well, I think a lot of that you had on the old videotape there, or the audio tape, I don't know, is not good. It's not good. And it's not a lot, to talk about, honestly. But if you're making $45,000 as someone who meets for a job, right, at a meeting twice a year or twice a month, and again, right, you're supposed to be out there. But I see it. Our Hammond folks, I see more because I'm from here. I see my council people out there working. They take it seriously. Now, again, you could pull back a little bit on the idea that you've become a Mensa level brain trust because a few hundred people voted for you. Again, you could be a smidge more humble and a little more open to the idea that there are people that are going to not like your decisions in certain capacities. We could have a little more than that, but I like the on the ground, get the feet walking, and produce things for the region. But I think like the Crown Point thinks of it as being a city councilman, town councilman, I mean, as a side position, something that a community service where you get paid something for expenses along the way, but not a full-time job like someone making 30 or 45,000 could probably live off of. And considering the amount of boards and things that folks can make, and again, you're encouraged to have another job, right, or a position, just not with the government, right? We can't have that double dipping thing going on anymore. Which again, if you can get the job done, I'd be okay with it. But you see what I'm saying? I mean, we're to the point where financially is the biggest problem. Money is always at the heartstrings of this. I put a post up where it talked about how funny it is that it's all, that services and good government should go in hand with good financial management, and people don't seem to care about that particular window of our government. Just do what you got to do, and I want things my way right now. Even though we're concerned about health care, we're concerned about long-term health care, we're concerned about our environment. Has anything changed on that front? My nephew got a Volt, by the way, and he's averaging 250 miles a gallon of gas. It's one of those hybrids, but he uses mostly the electric and does it that way. That's the way we're going. I heard that battery might be coming for a 100 mile an hour trip of charge in a single engine plane. So things are going that way. But when I hear something from the top, our top people actually giving up, when do you hear them give up something? We're back to my rebranding discussion. We're talking about rebranding our government so that maybe some of the youth could actually care and get involved. Well, they do get involved. Well, those are the ones that are probably most likely indoctrinated onto one of your teams, again, filled with, hatred, right? Again, if you have to do it, I get it. I try to put a calming efforts part of that with my rebranding idea. But again, if you have to continue with your hate, just do. I understand. I don't understand, but I get where you're coming from. There's a lot of reasons to be upset. I've just sort of reached a level of knowledge and understanding that knows that until the system changes, I'm never going to be happy with what we got. Until the divisiveness, until Trump saying, well, 3 of the Democrats came to our side on the impeachment. What does that mean? What side are you on? It's America. How about us? I mean, we're pretty much in the middle of a verbal civil war. Would you say? Right? People are out there hating people, not following people, liking people but not liking them because they can't understand that an independent thought is, gosh, so needed these days, and discouraged, literally discouraged on a level. I can raise my hand to say that, right? I come up with pretty interesting line items to talk about, stuff that's worth listening and talk to, and again, I got sort of pushed out, right? And again, I don't care, whatever, it's over, whatever, but it wasn't it couldn't be for lack of good content, right? I'm a Chicago-based successful comedian. When I have shows, people come. We get good reviews. I don't get bad reviews. We get good reviews, right? That's what we're here to do. We're here to get good reviews and get on the right path of a region that is a little less heavy-handed at the top, right? How many people? These cities that where the council people make $45,000. What do you think the average income is there? What do you think their average employment participation is compared to other areas? What about the safety on the streets? What about the infrastructure? Right? But they're covered. $4 to $5 grand, pretty decent for a sinking ship. But like we said, there's a post out there about folks coming to the annual Christmas meal where 600 folks came. And saying this or speaking this way about Gary leadership or East Chicago or Hammond or whatever, one of our big cities' leadership, has nothing at all to do about the people that are there. We love them. You think I would walk down Broadway in the morning on a Saturday with Gary firemen, Gary police officers, the head of firemen in the state of Indiana, if I didn't care about the people that lived in Gary? I live in Hammond. There's great people there. There was great Gary people, Levita and Juana, that got involved with that project and made it be way more successful than I could have done on my own. It wasn't nearly as successful as I wanted it to be, although the guys did end up getting a raise. But I mean, the comment was, again, I consider myself a media person. I don't know who it was. I'm sure I care enough about this person's commentary to mention it here, so that's a good thing on their part. But they said, don't trust the media. Good things are happening in Gary. Now, maybe they're probably referencing the articles where it says worst, they were ranked worst place to live and all this or that. The home you live in, the life that you build for you and your partner or your friends and family, whatever it is, that's what makes good life living, not where it is. I mean, I guess you don't want to have like random gunfire all the time or anything, but you make your life happy or sad. So what I'm trying to do is make it happier for everybody by sitting down and listening. You can't get far in this change that I'm looking for. Major change. I'm serious. I think you guys should all get on board on it. And I may do something where I try to get actually a liberal and a Democrat together. A liberal and a conservative together at the same time. And just no fighting, no pointing, no name calling, no libtards, no hateful GOP kid snatcher prison. And just start there. Start at a big rock of two people trying to get together and connect. And not respect what the other person had to say and just agree to disagree, but find ways to agree. It's that simple. I think it's fair, too. I'm going to play one more round of a few more spots from our fine sponsors. And I got another special. Again, we're going to do some thank yous and some spank yous. The spank yous go out to I'm going to go to the White House, I guess, since they get the first spank you for not providing the Congress with the information they need. That's their job, to ask for it. FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. If you did it, we get it. Right? I mean, the one with secrets, I'm not for outing people, but, or giving people's, information out if they're, part of some secret society that you're working on up the top there, government. But, having information out that you guys did stuff is what keeps us free. Okay. Here's, did I play this? I don't think I did. Here's just serendipity.
We are taking the hassle out of holiday shopping at It's Just Serendipity. Gifts for everyone on your shopping list for every budget. We carry everything vintage and antique, handcrafted, upcycled, and repurposed goods by local artists, yummies prepared by local vendors such as honey, toffee, and biscotti. Carry decor, memorabilia, and custom gift baskets. Shop small with us at 5630 Homan Avenue in downtown Hammond, Indiana. Like It's Just Serendipity on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, or visit our website, itsjustserendipity.com.
Experience Broadway in Northwest Indiana. Established as the top provider of entertainment, Theater at the Center in Munster brings you the best in live theater, music, and comedy without city prices and parking hassle. With its elegant setting and superb talent, Theater at the Center in the Round makes each production must-see. 5-star dining is optional for select shows in each of the Thursday night performances. For show dates, times, and prices, visit theateratthecenter.com or call 219-836-3255. Ask about becoming a subscriber. Discounted tickets and priority seating are just a few of the benefits you'll receive. Call 219-836-3255. Theater at the Center. You'll leave impressed. Now listen to Harlow tell you about what's on stage right now.
After this fake commercial, Thank you for supporting Ron Harlow Media. Parts brought to you by The Little Shaver Shaver. The engineers at The Little Shaver Shaver designed it specifically for that tricky area under the nostril and at the roof of the upper lip, where often a missed spot may appear to be a blemish like a blackhead or, God forbid, a hairy mole. Getting into that area with a normal-sized blade can leave you nicked and bloody. Ladies, get your man a Little Shaver Shaver and take the guesswork out of what people think is on your man's face by eliminating it safely. Also, your Little Shaver Shaver is covered in 14 karat gold because in our industry, that's the thing. Buy a Little Shaver Shaver and receive as your free gift the Super Little Shaver Shaver for earlobes and for separating unibrows. Order now by visiting itsnotahairymole.com. All one word, itsnotahairymole.com. Itsnotahairymole.com. That's a real thing, right? I've seen this. It's for the ladies. It's like a lady shaver, maybe, for, they got... It happens, I guess, right? But this item is covered in 14 karat gold. That's a sales item, that you need to have if you want this product, 14 karat gold. So the Little Shaver Shaver is not going to be outdone by this thing. That's what I know. That's the kind of, group that's supporting Ron Harlow Media. And I just thank you guys. You've been very good to me so far, and a lot of views, and keep sharing and keep getting folks to like it. And we got a great new year coming, 2020. Expect some new shows and some more voices here as we expand our coverage and the ability to support our sponsors with a broader show base of interesting people that are part of the region and beyond. But we're going to have some more comedy folks on. We're going to be working on some, sort of talking head stuff here in the studio for the new year. So, and we're going to continue to sort of fix things up to make it look more professional in the background, in the foreground, at the runner, with the sound. I mean, we're making some strides. It's certainly in the area of, we've got commercials now. That's kind of exciting. And it's just been, 5 months, and I can tell you, you can go to the Facebook page, the YouTube page, Ron Harlow Media. Every show that we've done so far is there, and you can look at the very first shows and say, yeah, it was just sort of, some strings and some wire, and we're moving along slowly. My goal or my contention is that content wins overall, and I think that we have that. We have a fun show. It's informative. We have a wide range of region guests. We sort of get away from the grind of the regular necessities of radio, in that I'm pretty secure in the fact that this item here can cover your weather and traffic pretty well, a lot better than tuning in at this point. So, we save some extra time that way. Again, we keep accenting the idea of what's best in the region, like our guest today, Keelan Wendorf. Fine, upcoming person, super fun to be around, cares about people. You can tell. He has a great deal of talent in many ways, and we're just going to keep they find me in many ways. I just know when I meet a lot of people, and I know a good one when I see one, as far as a guest, I think. But all are pretty much welcome. I'm very happy to get quite a few region folks on. A really great interview with Erin Ollis on Monday. Hers is on the page, where she's the lady that knitted all those awesome Baby Yoda hats. And what's been funny is I've mentioned that since we've had her on, and like numerous times, I don't know what you're talking about. And they go, oh yeah. I mean, it's something that's crossed them. It's become such a big story that it's crossed their path on social media or in the paper. She was on NPR. She was on another radio, WBEZ. She was on, and she's been on with us a couple times. But again, we're well over 700-800 views, and I couldn't be happier for folks that she's funny, she's fun, and we like to keep it as light as we can, but Mr. Far Middle, again, who whenever I take a shot, I never hit anybody. There are other people like me that are in the middle, and I think someone needs to be, or we'd already be split, maybe. I don't know. Again, if you want me on your team, clean up the backyard, and I'm on my way. Or maybe join my team. The far middle? Is that something? Far middle? I'm the far middle. I love it. It's just the way I think in life. Differently. I think Keelan had a shirt that said odd one. I should have one that says odd one too. But the TOW, since there would be two of us. Odd 1 2. Like a 1-2 punch. That's our wrestling name, brother. Although I'm probably going to be better off as one of the management type guys. You're Bobby Heenan's. I could talk smack without getting hurt or kicked at. Because I'm sort of a bag of stitches right now. So it'd be best, I think, for me if I just sort of bang on the ring on the side. Now, Keelan, maybe you can jump in on some of the physical stuff. But pleasure to have him on. Super great. Funny to meet. Very fine to meet his lovely girlfriend, Brittany. We wish you guys a great Friday Eve. I'll be back tomorrow at 4. Me, you, and sound. Bye. Such a great tune. You better come on.